Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Village Group Chats.
Man, she prepped me. She told me that I could do the intro, and then she just, go
The
finish
way
it
I
out.
had the time to think just now, I was looking at you just to even like move your mouth, and I knew I was going to hop in. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Village Group Chat. I am one half of your host, Selikka Wood.
And I'm Mike Rodgers. My feelings are a little hurt because I honestly thought I was doing my intro. I was practicing this stuff, you know, that little I, or all that little
You
voice.
did just say, can I do it like this? And I was like, yeah. That's so funny.
Oh man.
Well, welcome back to another week. We're back together.
Yeah, it's been a busy week.
Very, very busy.
It is. We're excited to be joining you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're watching us or physically listening to us, we are just appreciative of having the opportunity. And our goal or hope is to really provide hope, encouragement, and practical tips as we navigate our family's journey.
Yes. As always, if you want to hit us up, you want to email us, you can email us at village. Well, I always do this whenever I do the. I'll be like, you can hit us up.
You see what I have to do? If y'all watching, you see, I'll be like ducking and stuff like that because I don't know.
If you want to email us, you can email us at villagegroupchat at gmail.com, or you can hit us up on IG at The Village Group Chat, and you can connect with me on IG at no_ordinary_mom.
And you can connect with me, Mike J. Rodgers 1. Simple, no underscore. It's simple. Mike J. Rodgers 1.
Yeah, but you forgot to say Rodgers with the D, not the regular Rodgers like Mr. Rogers.
Thank you for adding that in. But they've been walking with us for a while, so they should know both of our personalities.
Yeah, we got some consistent listeners. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, definitely an opportunity just to continue to build that village. And if you know people who are interested, share it with them.
Share, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Ain't that what all the little kids be saying?
All
like and subscribe. Hit that button below. All right, what's been going on?
Wow. Just jump right into it because, you technically had this portion of the episode that we getting to know you, an opportunity for y'all to get to know us, for me to get a better understanding of who you are. And so I felt like I needed to step my game up when it came to scripting out this experience. So what is the most out of character thing you've ever done?
Everything out of character that I've ever done, I do not want to talk about that because God has saved me. He is a redeemer.
Saved by his grace. Amen.
He gave me all the grace.
My
I don't even remember that stuff. That's how out of character it was. It was in character at the time, but I'm made new, whole, refreshed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember.
But
I can't
remember it.
I don't remember.
Okay.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. What was out of character for you?
Oh man, I'm very organized, very scripted. I have an idea of how my day is going to go, and even prior to going to bed at night, my mind is always scripting or thinking about outlining.
You're a robot.
I wouldn't say
you
robot. I wouldn't say that, but
you're definitely
it helps.
A robot.
It helps with navigating the unexpected because unexpected happens in really all of our lives. And so my preference is to be prepared, but not to be overly prepared, if that makes any sense. And so there was this experience I had where, and again, I can't remember if it was prior to college, maybe in high school.
Because you was in it so long. You was in college so long, you can't even remember. All your years run together.
I was in there for a while.
Yeah.
I was definitely in there for a while. But my friend, he was one of those individuals who took pride in his car, and he was always souping up his car, and even I believe this was high school, souping up his car. And so I made it to high school, the school that morning, and he was like, "Hey man, you want to just take a real quick trip?" And so, just running down all the list of different things that I need to do, I was always saying, nah, but I was excited to go on this trip. And I said, man, well, YOLO.
You know? Did your parents find out about it?
Nope. But I hope they ain't listening now. Yeah, because
Mrs. Rodgers is definitely gonna have a conversation with you after this episode.
Man, and so we literally skipped out on the first half of the day, and we went down. I can't remember if it was to pick up some shoes, but we went down, and yes, that was the. That was something that wasn't necessarily connected with my character, but just something that I enjoyed doing. But I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, and it's spontaneous, and you are not spontaneous, so that's out of your character.
Structured, very organized, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. You're very responsible too. I'll give you that. Like you with the things that you are in charge of, you take very seriously. So you can always guarantee that it's going to get done to the highest level. That you're capable of.
Yep. Responsibility.
Yeah, that's a good characteristic. You got one.
Go ahead with yours.
No, I'm not. I don't remember. It was too out of character for me, and I might mess around. I can't remember. I skip this question.
Well,
we need to call this segment "Plead the Fifth." That's what we need to do, and then we can decide whether we're gonna answer the questions or not.
Why don't y'all connect with us and ask her the question, and you're gonna have to respond back to our listeners.
I don't remember. I'm trying to tell you.
Wow.
Like in the Bible, you got the BC before Christ and after Christ. That's how my life is kind of set up. I got before being saved, and then after being saved.
I know who I can ask. I can ask some of your cousins, or our cousins.
They've been made new as well.
Wow.
They don't remember.
All right then. Well, shoot. Well, let's dive down into our conversation because you've had a recent experience, and I've always enjoyed going into
busy week.
Wow. Yeah. So again, if y'all are looking at her physically, she looks tired. You know?
Let me perk up. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not used to this. You know,
all right.
Our camera operator was even saying like, "Hold on, something's off here."
Yeah, can you put a filter on, and they?
But no, so you had a great experience or opportunity since the last time we connected to really invest in your development. I think that's important. You tell us a little bit about where you went.
Yeah.
Your trip from the DMV. Now, you had to fly out.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
So are you somebody who takes advantage of those opportunities, reading books or doing podcasts, or are you just watching some?
You've met me. What do you think? What would your guess be?
You definitely enjoyed that trip. You was watching something kind of hood related.
Netflix. You said hood related.
I'm just saying.
Trifling.
But so tell us a little bit about the experience.
Yeah, I actually, when I'm on a plane, I like to either I'll do some thinking, but I just try to get my mind off of just like flying. And I'll watch Netflix. I normally always download something because it just helps the time pass.
Yeah. Now, are you one of those fearful? Do you have like a fear of flights?
No, I fly very often, so I'm definitely not fearful. But it's just like I just want the time to pass quickly. So I always try to find things to pass the time. My family, they sleep before we even take off. I don't understand how people do that, but So this week I was able to go to MegaCon 2022, which is a family ministry conference. A lot of emphasis on children's ministry, I noticed, but it's a family ministry conference that takes place in Nashville every year, and it was great. I traveled with three other of our, one of our other leaders in the, within Zion, and then it was two volunteers who went, and we were definitely the minority. I will say that.
I was about to say, because you went to Nashville.
We were in Nashville, and I love Nashville. Yeah,
the food was good.
It's all I've never had a bad meal in Nashville.
Yeah.
What'd you go for when you went?
I went for a conference.
Was it MegaCon?
No, it wasn't MegaCon. It was about 6 years ago.
Okay.
It was a children's ministry conference. It was D6.
Oh yeah, they were there. They were like sponsors. They had like a booth set up and everything. Yeah. But the conference itself was very well done. Plenty. They had it was organized. They had a marketplace, plenty of like merch and stuff you could buy. One, we were talking before we started recording, and I was saying one of the things that I really enjoyed about being in the space, the church was called Cornerstone. It was a huge church, but they really made you feel welcome. It wasn't a bunch of rules when you came in, like don't do this, don't touch that, don't go down this hallway. Like the building truly was open to us the entire day, from beginning to end, and so that made me feel good, because I just hate going to places that got a whole bunch of, you just don't feel like you can't. You got to go in and don't touch nothing. I don't like. I don't like spaces like that. I'd rather go home. But they had topics about like all of the sessions dealt with some form of like discipleship, or this pouring back into the family ministry or your children's ministry. It was just crazy to have so many people there. Like everybody there, it seemed like they're like children's church. So you know how y'all be. You're not like that anymore, but the way they speak is different. Like they're talking to kids all the time.
Hi, wow.
Yeah.
Overemphasis on certain words.
But it was like everybody was so passionate about what it is that they do. So it was a great conference. I was more focused on going to the sessions regarding leadership, women in leadership. That was very important to me, because it'd be hard out here in these streets trying to be a woman and lead at the same time. And just building like our volunteer base. That's something, and I walked away with some really, really good notes. You should check them out. Even I sent them to you. You should check them out when you have a moment.
See, as soon as they came through,
you did not.
Since I wasn't necessarily on a paid vacation.
Oh gosh, that was not a vacation. Y'all see how tired I look. My flight didn't get into late last night, so. That's why I look so exhausted.
So were there? I know you had mentioned a few topics. What were some of the ones that stood out to you? Because you did share your notes. And I appreciate that.
And you did you look at them?
I looked at one.
I sent you 4 different sessions.
I know.
What kind of partnership is this? I'm gonna have to do all the work.
I looked at one. I was busy doing other things for our ministry.
You're right, Mike. I'm just giving you a hard time. You be holding it down. Some of one of the first session I went to was called, and I'm referring back to my notes, guys, because my brain is just tired right now. But 7 essentials for a leader's backpack, and so they kind of gave, if you're going to be leading, the things you need to get rid of, because all of us have past experiences. Sometimes they will follow us into our current purpose or mission, and so she had mentioned that as leaders, what we shouldn't pack is fear. And she based that around 2 Timothy 1:7, and our expectations. Stop using words should or because it leads to comparisons and hinders our calling. When we start comparing ourselves to what other churches are doing, what other ministries are doing, and even in your personal life, what other families are doing. What somebody else's marriage looks like, or the way they parent their kids. I want my kids to behave like their kids. Like all of that will hinder what it is that your focus on what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And the thing she said that we should always pack as leaders is truth. We need to be who God has called us to be. Daily infusions of Christ. We need to stay connected and committed at all times. And I know for myself, when I'm not like tuned in and plugged into God, like that's when all of the out of character stuff we talked about starts happening. And we need to have a servant's towel and model Jesus, live our life as a servant, like be clear about who it is that we've been called to serve and making sure that we're doing that. Eraser. We, at some point in time, as leaders, as people, as humans, as parents, as spouses, as children, as our, being children of someone else, we will blow it. We will make mistakes. We will need to apologize. But just as God has forgiven us when we go to Him and, we repent for what we've done, or we try to just correct certain behaviors, whatever, He can make us new. We need to just confess it and allow it to be erased and make sure that we're not taking it in.
And when you said apologize, that was something that we had spoke about before, like, just taking ownership over our mistakes and apologizing to our kids is key. And it also helps them develop that level of resilience, but then also a level of ownership.
Yeah, and awareness. Yep.
They're, hey, I that's my bad. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry, Dad. Or ownership inside of their friends. So
I noticed, like, with my and when you said that allows them to take ownership, and that's why, like, with my kids, I will never force them to apologize. People say, you need to tell them sorry or whatever. I try to put an emphasis on, like, whatever the issue is, and try to allow them to see where they could have had fault in it, or where the other person could have had fault in it, so that they can have some type of self-awareness of where the mishap happened, and so then they can honestly feel within inside of them that, hey, I need to apologize for this. But I will never, like, make you apologize, because it's not sincere. If you haven't realized why you need to apologize, and especially with, like, kids, you got to kind of, like, help them work through that. Like, us as adults, like, we know you need to apologize, like, you were wrong for that, but helping them process, like, so they can figure out, like, Dad, that wasn't right. I shouldn't have done that. That, I feel like that goes further.
I think that's a great tool, just to really empower them, because they're not going to be under our care all throughout their life. They're children for a small period of time, and then they're out in this world too.
And who wants to apologize if they really feel like they didn't do anything wrong? If you just got somebody making you make you apologize, like, is it really, like, provoking change in, like, whatever the behavior was, or you get what I'm trying to say?
No, definitely. I feel like you sometimes try to make me apologize,
and you've never apologized to me once in your entire life, as long as I've known you, and you've done me wrong multiple times.
Now let's get back to the focus of the conversation.
The other thing is, I have 3 more things. The other thing was rest, making sure that you are getting rest. Rest is not your reward for finishing everything. Rest is the break you take in the middle of your work. Our wholeness matters, and I think that's something that so many leaders struggle with. We will continue to and when I say leaders, I'm not just talking about work. I'm talking about leaders in your household, leaders in your friend group, anybody who's taking on any type of leadership role. We will try to work ourselves into the ground to make sure everything is just right, and thinking we can handle everything. And that is not, like, I don't think God rewards that. Like, he don't want us to be dead tired every time we going out into the world. Like, that's not admirable.
I've heard a pastor preach. I can't remember if it was Pastor Battle, but I heard a pastor preach on the 7 days of creation. And again, he's God. He can do it any way he wants, but that what he was doing was really trying to give us an example of some practical tools that we could implement into our lives. And on that 7th day, again, he's God. He can do it any way he wants, but he intentionally rested. And so that kind of motivate me to be more appreciative of those moments when I just need to rest.
That hustle culture is toxic. I think we got purpose. We all have things that we need to be doing, but you need to recognize, like, working yourself into the ground, stressing yourself into the ground. You're like, that's not the move. That stuff will catch up to you, and you really aren't being as it doesn't allow you to be as efficient as you possibly could if you just take a break. It's okay, guilt free.
And then it also impacts the relationships with people who are close to you. Like, when you're up in arms over something that was minor, that is not the move.
That's not the move. So rest, encouragement for our teammates. Where you celebrate, you are celebrated. So it's kind of like what you pour in, you give out. None of us can run this race alone, and it's important to make sure that you're pouring back into the people who are running beside you. She said there are no lone rangers in leadership. Our teammates are not our competition. It's important to link arms and fight. Don't compare to anyone. Don't criticize other leaders, and don't let envy get in the way of celebrating others. Like, if we all are the goal is to disciple This help families to empower, in our case, empower families to disciple their own families. Like if we find another ministry that is doing that, like we can't be jealous of them and, like, dang, I wish we was doing that, or we had as many, families participating or volunteers as they had. Like we need to be clapping for them. Like at the end of the day, we all trying to reach the same goal. And if you're able to do that, like keep going. I'm a clap for you because I want you to win. Ultimately, we want to disciple families. Yeah. And lastly was the white flag of surrender. God, just remembering that God is for us, God's will, His way, and reminding ourselves that us as leaders, we have everything we need to be a leader, and God has called us. Yeah.
That sounded like it was a rich conversation.
It was good.
And what was the name of the lady who
her name was Cindy Botima. She's actually, I think she's a CEO of GEMS. You ever heard of that? GEMS. They empower like girls to just reminding them that they're like world changers. They have like subscription boxes and journals and everything centered around just like self-confidence and seeing themselves as like who God has called them to be as young women. It's a great organization. They had their booth was like amazing.
I was about to say, especially after that presentation she did, I'm sure it got a lot of traction, a lot of attention.
One of the other sessions too that because we don't have time to talk about everything, but was the ABCs of family discipleship, and that was really like affirming to me because it affirmed like just a lot of things that we do in my family already. It was more they were more talking about not just as your ministry, but in your household, how to help you to disciple your children and taking advantage of impromptu discipleship and those moments of like planned, you got being very strategic about it. But it reminded me of something that I had wanted to make sure I implement in my family is us kind of gathering around like a cause or mission that we can serve, like whether it be serving together or giving, like maybe adopt a child from maybe underserved child in another country or something like that, but something that we as a family can all place our time around, that we can become passionate about. That I feel like that'll be a different, like take our discipleship to another level. It was something I know we had conversations about that before, but I'm glad you're bringing that up because these last couple of years have been crazy for everybody. And by you sharing that, it does remind me of some of the things. I know I had done it before. I adopted like a child. I'm talking about this is probably like 10, 15 years ago through one of those organizations. And it really was, I can't remember the child's name. I can't remember what country they was at. Hold up. but so you just stopped giving? How you gonna be a deadbeat to a child that you didn't? How are you gonna do that?
No, it was everything. I believe happens in seasons.
Are you gonna try to find him? Season, do you wonder how he's doing?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
But again, just the season, contributing to that organization was helpful and important. And again, I chose to stop giving, but it's making
cancel payment on that man.
Oh shoot!
Terrible, terrible, out of character.
Oh my goodness! Wow! Thank you for the guilt that I'm feeling now. I'm just giving you a hard time. But in all seriousness, man, it does make me think about that. Even just with what you were sharing about how it's something that we could rally our family around.
Yes, and I think that it allows our kids just to have a certain level of compassion for someone else. But imagine, you didn't keep up with the kid. I'm not trying to be funny. You didn't keep up with it. But as young as your kids are now, if you all were to adopt someone around the same age as them, and you really follow that thing through and be able to see the change that you were able to make in their life, and maybe even one day meet this person, I think it'd be great. It was an organization there called Compassion
International.
Yes, Compassion International. And so if anybody is listening and maybe that's something that you like to do, I want to say they were asking for $32 a month, and that would help help the child. And it's you get somebody personalized to you. I said I was going to look into it afterwards because they were trying to get people to sign up there. But I was like, I want to talk to my family about it,
pray about it.
Yes, but I would be interested in doing that and really seeing it through.
Yeah. Because I believe it was Compassion International who I was with. Again, is it something that I could potentially go back to? Most definitely. Definitely talk about it with your family first. Pray about it. It's always, but when in the grand scheme of things, when you factor how much you have to put out on a monthly basis, that's comparable to like gas money.
For real, especially for us. But it doesn't even have to. I mean, that's something that I was considering for our family because I really want to find something for us to rally around. But I think if you can sit down with your own family and maybe think about like, what are you passionate about? Is homelessness maybe something that's piercing your heart? Maybe you guys can serve together. Maybe make sandwiches one Saturday out the month and just pass them out as a family. You just passing them out going downtown. Or maybe
especially with the holiday season coming up.
The holidays.
Partner with a organization.
Share. They do it where you don't even have to have face-to-face contact with the people who are in need. Maybe if that's something you're uncomfortable with, but I know they allow children as young, I want to say is 2 years old, to help pack the boxes that go to the underserved families. So you're in the warehouse just packing potatoes and onions and all of the things, the meals that are going to them monthly. That could be something that you rally around, that you all are just serving together in that way. But being in that session just reminded me like, I need to put this at the top of my list because I want us to, this is a different level of discipleship.
Now, I know with our church, with our organization, we have different things that are going on. That's maybe something that I'll look into with my family, see how we can support, and because I want them to understand, especially at an early age, that life is not always about what it is that I want or I desire. I've been placed here for a reason, and I can do some good. It doesn't mean it cancels out the bad, but I can do some good and ultimately change somebody else's life.
Because we weren't put in this world to just take. Like we all need to feel a responsibility to make sure that we are contributors to this world. So it was a great conference. Well, I would go back.
I was gonna add, that was gonna be my next question because there are some conferences that I got what I needed, I'm good. But so you're, from what it sounds like, it's something that you would definitely, again, not like 5, 6, 7 years, but you could see some value of going back.
I do think that I could see value in going back. What I would like to see, and hey, maybe I'm speaking this into existence, is us hosting a family ministry conference of some sort. I don't know if we would have to start off small, but I would like to see just more diversity and not just the people, but as in the topics in the sessions, because I think we as African Americans, even Hispanic, all of our brown people or minorities, Asians, whatever, I feel like some of our pain points are a little different from theirs, and we can speak to our community differently in a way that'll be like a lot more impactful. So I would love to see more diversity in those type of conferences, but I noticed that it's not a lot of, in the family ministry space, we don't see a lot of us. So I hope that we can be contributors of changing that.
Yeah, shoot, man. Speaking into existence.
Yeah. You got to start somewhere.
Strategize and seeing how we could build on some of the relationships that we have, and eventually down the road, my prayer is that we will be able to do that.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope so. And hopefully next time you'll be able to go.
No, I'm joking. No, I love
all of that stuff. You already know,
I
though.
Really
I'm not sure that it would have been beneficial to you because you've been in the children's ministry space for so long. Like, you've seen it all, you've heard it all. You know how to build a ministry. So I'm sure that it would have been nothing that you hadn't heard before.
Let's mark this day. I finally got a little bit of credit. What day is this record coming out? Mark this.
It
might
have been a waste. It would have been a waste for you.
Mark this time.
You probably could have been a speaker actually in those sessions.
Hold on, man. Nate, play that back, man. Play that back. Just whenever she's talking bad about me, you can pull this up where she actually gave you a compliment.
Oh my gosh, Mike.
Well, we are done with this conversation, and thank you so much
for
really just sharing some of your motivation, some of your heart. even just what you've learned from the conference.
Yeah,
Really
great
that.
things, and I cannot wait to implement them in Zion's family ministry. Because I have so many other notes and ideas, so many more things to share, but we don't have the time. But I'm looking forward to just doing the work.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just want to do the work. And we about to change families. Change families on 3. No, we're not doing that. Oh. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. If you want to connect with us, you can email us at villagegroupchat@gmail.com. If you want to hit us on IG, The Village Group Chat. I'm at no_ordinary_mom on IG.
And I'm at Mike J. Rodgers 1. Mike J. Rodgers 1.
And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Yep. You have a great one.
Bye, guys.